Welcome to Emotional Support Water Bottle with Hannah and Ailish.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ailish. I just wanted to start by saying I know I had told you when we were together earlier that one of the movies that we were going to talk about was no longer available. I made a flub. I
Oh,
was thinking it was on Hulu, but it's actually on Netflix. And so I was looking all over Hulu. But then even when I Googled it, it was only coming up with Prime for some reason. And but it's on
no.
Netflix. So that was my bad. Um we can you are more than welcome to give your thoughts, or we can move that one to another day,
Well,
whatever.
it was Erin Brockovich, right?
Yes.
I actually don't have a lot to say about that one, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to talk about it now or
I mean, I guess might as well.
it it was just like a nice movie. Like I don't know, I just didn't really have anything to say. Like it was fine to watch. It wasn't like scandalous. There wasn't well, there was some curse words, I guess, in it or whatever, but it just was fine. Oh, like Julia Roberts was fun in it. And then the dad from Big Fish was in it. I didn't know he was in this movie. But yeah, I don't know. I just really didn't have a lot to say about it. Like it
Okay.
was just a fine movie.
So I guess that worked out kind of well.
I know, like I mean, it was interesting. I actually didn't really know fully what it was about. It's like you've just heard about it so many years. I thought she was almost like a sex worker or something, but she
Oh,
wasn't. And I don't know why I had that in my head. I think because they just made such a big deal, like showing the paper or the paper, the poster of her kind of like dressed like a little
yeah,
scandalously
it
and
was
stuff.
kind
And
of
I think that's
cool.
maybe why I thought it the whole time, but no, that's not the case at all. And
And that movie is based off of true events, right?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, it was. And I meant to look into that a little bit more, but I just looked up what the lady looked like.
Okay. I thought that it was. So maybe once I watch it, and if we look up some of the comparisons to the real story, maybe we can double back on it. But um I just know that was like such a big role for Julia
Yeah.
Roberts.
I know. And maybe that's what it was, is because sometimes, and we've talked about this before, but just like when those older movies get so overhyped and then you actually watch it and you're like, oh, that was fine.
That was nice.
Like,
It
so
did win. She did win the Oscar for that.
that's what I thought.
Hmm.
Is that when she had like the hairy armpits, or was that not the same?
Was that the one? Was that when she had the hair pulled up?
I think so. And like the black dress
Yeah,
with the
dress.
white.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
yeah, I mean, she was lovely in it. And it was just kind of like just seeing her just young and or
did she
younger-ish. I
have
mean, I think
hairy
she was
armpits in this?
I thought there was this one, like, photo of her with the hairy armpits where she's, like, lifting up her arms. I
I
don't know when
mean,
that was.
there aren't really there's not really any where her arms are like up in the air, but it is that classic, the one that we kind of thought, the black dress and
Oh, no, she's wearing a red dress with the hairy armpits.
oh,
I
what was
just for
that
some
for
reason
then?
I don't
Did she
Notting
win?
Hill Notting Hill premiere.
Oh, at the premiere.
Yeah, I just like I could like that black dress is so stuck in my head, and then the hairy armpits from whenever that was is just so stuck in my head for some reason.
I didn't even know about that one. What year was so this movie was 2000. What year
Yeah,
was Notting Hill?
I think 99.
Oh, wow. Yep, you're right.
I think that one is streaming right now, or it just
It
came off or something.
it
Because I thought I
says
saw it when I was scrolling.
it's on Hulu with a Max, add-on or just on Max.
Oh, maybe that's what I saw it on.
Yeah. I know we've said this before, but I really just wish that some of these that they weren't on all behind all these paywalls. Like,
I know, it's like, "Oh, you have
seen that
Hulu,
movie.
sorry." What?
I've never seen Notting Hill,
Me either.
and at this rate, I never will.
I know. I will say that Erin Brockovich was, like, a hair too long, like, I just feel like the setup
Well, it was over
I
2 hours, right?
yeah, it was, but maybe it just kind of felt long, but it just felt like there was a lot of, like, getting her personality down,
Yeah.
which it's like, I think that coulda happened as the movie went on, but
I think
other
it's
than
so
that
difficult. We've said this before, but with just those older movies, like, the style of movie has really changed.
I know,
And
where they're a lot more fast-paced now, like, the pacing
yeah.
is so much different.
And some of the things, like, I like the more in-depth and the slower pace
Yeah.
because it really builds the story, and then with kind of the newer movies that it's often like, oh, well, so much stuff is kind of skipped over, and maybe that would have been helpful to have in the plot, to move things along or to give better backstory, but I think it just kinda goes to, like, our attention spans as viewers, and they're just not really there. I mean, because I know, like, sometimes when I watch a movie, I'm, like, total like, some of the ones that we've been watching, I am enjoying the movie, but I'll find myself grabbing my phone.
Yeah, like, I feel like I'm like, "Oh, I don't kinda need to or I don't really need to pay that much attention." Like, some movies will have me, like, gripping or, like, at the edge of my seat, but some of them, yeah, I just I it's, like, because they're so I don't even know, it's just so simple, no action or anything, it is really hard to pay attention, but then I can also be like, "Oh, I'm not missing anything," and then
Yeah,
that's kinda like a bad attitude to have, but, like, it's kinda true though, just the way some of these are paced.
I know. But it's different because back in the early 2000s, we didn't have all these other distractions that we
I
do
know, you just
now.
went in the theater. I know, and then 25 years ago,
I
that's
know.
crazy.
I will say when I am in a movie theater, I don't ever grab my phone though.
No, me either, there's something about, like, that giant screen in your
Yeah,
face that just, like
keeps you
it's so
captivated.
rare. Yeah.
I did want to bring up a couple timely topics that I saw. The first one was I saw that it was announced that the latest Yorgos Lanthimos movie with Emma Stone has a release date,
Okay.
and it's gonna be like in select theaters on October 24th, and then on larger viewer or larger a larger number of screens on the 31st. And this one's called Begonia.
Mm.
So I haven't really heard a lot about this one, honestly.
Me either, but they are putting it out at a time for Oscar bait.
Yeah, totally. So if I just looked up, it said two conspiracy obsessed men kidnap the CEO of a major company when they become convinced that she's an alien who wants to destroy Earth. And it has Jesse Plemons in it too.
Oh,
So
that'll be Sounds kinda creepy.
I know. I wonder if it's
Or is it gonna oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, or is it gonna be like a humorous thing?
well, I was about to say, like, with that release date of it being Halloween,
Right.
I thought maybe, but then it's listed as a sci-fi comedy, but that,
Oh.
that doesn't necessarily.
Right.
But I was just thinking too, that she's done multiple movies with him now, and I know when we watched, I think it was when we watched, was it when we watched Poor Things, or
Kinds of
I
kindness.
think it was Kinds of Kindness. That one was second, right? Poor Things was the
Mhm.
first one. Yeah, we were just saying how, like, okay, how many more movies are you going to do with him or do together? Because
Mhm.
it's like they're different, but they're all like kind of different in the same way almost.
Right. Like, it'd be kind of fun to see him work with somebody else, like, I don't even know who, like a Jennifer Lawrence or, like,
Yeah,
see what she could do with his material.
I know. And then I was thinking, like a couple weeks ago, I listened to one of those interviews with a celebrity where they, or an actor, where they go over like the movies in their career, and it was
Mhm.
Robert De Niro, and he was talking about obviously his decades long career, but how like he's worked so much with like Martin Scorsese and stuff, and like they just had a friendship, and so he was just chosen a lot for his movies, and it's
Mhm.
just like, do I have a problem with that? Like, I don't know. I
Right.
mean, it's kind of
Yep.
a different thing. Like, Martin Scorsese's movies weren't necessarily as jarring as these
Right.
movies are.
I know, and that'd be interesting to do as like a director and like or writer, like writing characters and envisioning the characters. It almost feels like you're just expanding on the same character if you keep bringing the same person in.
Yeah.
But I guess not always though. But it's like, oh, I know you did really good at this one role I had you at. Now I'm gonna have you be this.
Yeah, like, I know you'll do well in this one too,
Right.
like, I don't know. I mean, it's not like it's bad, but I think it's because, like, Emma Stone isn't really doing a lot of other things right now either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
because
just
would
like,
this be, like, 3 years in a row or, like, probably not, like, fully 3 years, but 3 projects in a row
yeah,
with just him?
yeah. So, I mean, when you look at it that way, it's kind of, it just makes it feel like the oversaturation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, if these were more spaced out, or if she was doing other stuff that was notable in between, then it might
Mhm.
not feel the same way.
Right.
But, I don't know. I mean, I
We'll see
guess.
what she does with this. We know
Yeah,
she's got a shaved head.
I know. So is I'm guessing, is that CEO that they think is an
That's what it's
alien
yeah, which would kind of fall into place of, like, the shaved
shaped
head
head.
and the
So
Mhm.
I guess that's just interesting. Yeah, now it's got a official release date, or a new release date, I guess.
Well, I'm curious about it, and it's kind of a one for one with him and yeah, Emma Stone for me. I did like Poor Things, even though there was things that I thought that I didn't love, and then I just didn't like Kinds of Kindness. So this one
Yeah.
could go either way.
Yeah, I don't know that this would be one that I would go to the theaters for.
Yeah, it'd have to be pretty convincing from
Yeah,
the trailer, or like stuff I'm hearing from
yeah,
people.
I'd have to see a pretty good trailer for that, I think. Um, let's
I
see.
did see that Rebel Wilson is having a new comedy come out.
Oh yeah, it's like an action comedy, right?
Yeah, yeah. Bride Hard. I kinda like I'm obviously not gonna go see it, I just don't think it looks that good to me, but maybe it
No.
will end up being good, but I wish she'd kinda explore something other than the, like, bridesmaid, the, like I don't know, it just feels like that same character again,
Yeah. Like we
but this
already that
time
was
she's an action or
I
like a
know. Like she was so notable for Bridesmaids, it's almost like I would
yeah,
never wanna do another movie related to that ever again.
I know, and kinda have, like, this whole, "Oh, we're at the, bridal shower bachelorette party," and then we go even through the whole did you see the trailer?
I just saw a small clip, I didn't watch the whole
It was
thing.
just like so we go through the whole and to the actual wedding when all this chaos is going on, so I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't know. Doesn't look that good, but it could
Yeah,
surprise me.
it's kinda like she hasn't done anything in a little while, and then this is what you're gonna come out with?
I know, and just, like, kinda like a not or, like, subpar comedy, and maybe it'll end up being funny, but it's just kinda like her shticky thing.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Melissa McCarthy. Remember when she did
Yeah,
that what was that one movie called? Where she like
they were the cops.
yeah, that one and then one where she like stole someone's identity.
Yeah,
It's just
identity theft is what it was. But and then there was the one where she's the
so
cop.
original.
Yeah, it it reminds me just kinda yeah, like, let's put out 5 of the same type of comedies.
Yeah.
It makes a bunch of money. I don't know if Rebel Wilson's movies do what Melissa McCarthy's movies were doing
Yeah.
there for a while, but yeah, it just was like, "Eh."
It's definitely quantity over quality.
Yeah.
And the comedies are just like slapstick
I know
comedies.
because you can't do any of that offensive humor
I
anymore,
know.
which is, like, good, but also it's like, it's just that's not super my style of funny.
Yeah, like, especially the physical comedy, because you know that that's what it's gonna be, which I think
Yeah.
that some physical comedy is funny, but when it's
Right?
just constant, you know.
Yeah. Like, "Oh, she can beat this guy up, and there's all
Yeah,
these actions." It's like, I mean, I guess maybe she could if she was a trained assassin or I don't even know what she was. It was some kind of something. I don't know if she
action
was a
star.
spy or yeah,
Well, then
so
and then what's next for her? You know, like, is
right.
she gonna it's just interesting because with Melissa McCarthy, I mean, her career obviously is, like, a little bit different with, like,
Right.
starting in Gilmore Girls and then moving into more comedic roles, but then she also like, after that, she moved into some, like, more serious things,
Yeah.
and I just wonder if Rebel Wilson is going to kind of take that path as well.
I know, I think it'd be kinda cool to see her, even if it was, like, more one of those, like, more emotional comedies.
Yeah.
Like, something like that, just kinda, like, as a transition. She looked really good, though.
Yeah, I mean, well, she's been looking good, so it's and she just hasn't been doing any like what was her last movie? Her bigger movie? I don't even
I don't
know.
even know.
It's been a
Mm-mm.
while. So,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, good for
This
her.
I hope she made money.
Maybe it's been tough getting offers. Who knows?
I know, or, like, putting out comedies and then like, picking her as, like, the big star for it. I just wonder if she'll get people into the theater to watch. Maybe she will, I don't know.
You know, I'm guessing that's gonna be a summer release.
Mhm. I know I missed when it was coming out, but
If they did
I would assume.
it's
But
probably in
then I'm
the
sorry, the delay. And then I Know What You Did Last Summer is coming or that, trailer came out as well, which we already knew that was coming out this summer.
Mhm.
Um, and then of course Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt are in this. So we've got the legacy characters.
So can you tell me, because I am not, like, I don't even think I've seen, I don't the first movie. So is
I
this
know I've
a remake?
Yeah. Well, it seems like just based off the trailer, it seems like I don't really know how they're doing this because I didn't feel like the trailer was that descriptive, but it does seem like it's like the same thing, like something happened where they hurt somebody and now it's like haunting them again. But I don't know why these legacy characters, like how they're actually fitting into this, because we
Mhm.
just see them kind of like the Jennifer Love Hewitt being like, "Well, what did or tell me what you did last summer." So I guess it's
Whoa.
just a reboot, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how all this is gonna like fall in place, like if it's just like it's at the same town or what.
I guess it could be either way. Like, it could still be the same storyline basically and be a sequel or whatever.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I
I'm not
just,
crazy about it.
yeah,
I
I
think
just wish that
I
we could do original content. I'm just,
I know, or I mean, I know some people don't like the 2013 Evil Dead as like a reboot because it just has a totally different tone. But I like that they did that. I like that they did a different tone with it. Like I feel like that's a reboot done right, where you
mhm.
take the source material but make it its own thing.
Well, because what's the point? Unless it's like a older film, like
Right,
what it, and I'm talking actually old, like decades old, like something
right.
from the 70s remade now. Like in that case, I think just completely redoing it, I can I can understand a little bit more. But like, I mean, if it's something that, and I guess I don't know, I guess maybe I'm just a little like twisted because that movie came out, was it early 2000s or late
I
90s?
believe so.
Yeah.
I'm
So
actually
it's
not
like,
sure.
well, it's at least 20 years old, but
Right.
to me that just isn't old enough to just completely redo the exact same movie.
Right, or, like, continue um, with the new Final Destination movie coming out, I
Mhm.
actually don't mind that one as much because it is its own story
Yeah,
pushing it all forward. I don't know if this is doing that or not. That's what I couldn't really figure out from the trailer,
yeah. Well, that's not a
but
good sign.
no, I know. I'm like, okay, so it's the same thing that happened, but why is it happening to this new group
Yeah.
of people, I guess. But I did notice that two of Pete Davidson's exes are in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that Chase I don't want to butcher her last name, Sui,
Oh, yeah.
and then Madeline Klein.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I bet that they had a lot to talk about
No, and I wonder if Madeline was dating him though at that
at the
time.
time.
Yeah.
Maybe because it would have filmed
I
at
would think it
least
would be
last year.
about the same time, but
Oh
I
my
don't know.
god.
I have good lists. I am
Um,
kind of excited. I mean, I don't know if I'll see this movie, but I am interested to see like Madeline Klein as like a scream queen. I think that'll
yeah,
be interesting.
I think she could be good at that.
Yeah, I think so too. So, anywho,
Um, so I mean, we didn't really mention that we were off last week. I had some unexpected family things, so we weren't able to record, but I was on the airplane and I was able to watch Heretic. And
yeah.
yeah, I know we already, because you had watched it, so we already kind of talked about it, but I just wanted to give my thoughts. Um, the twist was certainly interesting.
See, I think it was a cool like, I think that movie works as, like, sitting down and watching it with somebody and being able to talk about kinda, like, the commentary on the religion stuff, but, yeah, the movie was different.
Like it and I did like that they went in a kind of a different direction than what they
Yeah.
made it seem at first, and
Mhm,
the maybe like obvious way that they could have gone with it, but
mhm.
and it was a little creepy. Like I
Yeah, he
wouldn't
was
say it was
so
scary.
yeah, like, Hugh Grant was just, like, diabolical, like, it was, like, kinda unnerving
Yeah, I
just
thought
to
that.
see him like that.
Right, like, while I was watching, I was like, "Oh my gosh," like, it's really crazy because he's usually, the guy next door and the lovable,
Mhm.
and then to see him still being that, but in
That's
a
awful.
nefarious way,
I know.
it was a little terrifying.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, I mean, I guess I, like, enjoyed it. I'm glad that I didn't go to the theaters to see that one. Not that I think I would've walked away and been disappointed, but it wasn't one that I really was like, "Whoa," like, that was a
Changed my life,
great.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, what'd you think of the ending? Like, do you think she was alive, or do you think she actually died?
I think she probably died.
Yeah.
So
I
wait, which
couldn't
girl?
the blonde or the lighter-haired one. When she, like, cause she gets, like, gets out, but then I wondered if she even actually got out.
Oh, right, because it kinda just left it as that.
Yeah.
Um, I guess no, I think she probably lived, but it didn't really give us any resolution.
I know, I didn't like, the butterfly thing
Yeah,
where it was like, "Oh, is that the friend?" I don't know.
right. But then the thing, speaking of the friend, like, do you think that the friend was, like, actually dead the whole time and it was almost like a, I don't even know, like it was it a miracle that she
I
came back?
see, right, I don't know. That's a great question.
Because I feel like she was clearly, like, dead.
Dead. Well, when I was listening to I think it might have been the Horror Virgin podcast. Yeah, I think it was their pod. Because then I listened to the, Next Big Pictures, episode on it, and they thought that maybe she would have been able to survive just based on the injury, but I was kinda like, "I don't know," but then I was also willing to, like, suspend my belief because
Yeah,
it's the movie, but I don't know because what you but then it was like they were digging around. What'd you think of the birth control or the what are they
that
called?
was, I didn't like that.
Oh, that was so, like and it was so random too, and at first, I also believed that it was, like, some kind of, like, fake thing because I just wasn't
Oh,
thinking they were taking her birth control out until I'm like, "Oh."
yeah, I suspected because earlier, like, the movie when they were in the living room, um and they had, like, I don't even remember what the conversation was, but when that girl got, like, kind of uncomfortable, I was like, "Oh, well, she's hiding something, obviously."
Mhm.
And then when he did that, I was like, "Oh, it's a birth control implant." But then when they were digging around, I couldn't even watch
Oh,
that. I
I
had to
know,
turn it
I
off.
know, because I had no idea, like, what he
Yeah,
was doing, where we were
oh,
going with that. Yeah, that was pretty I don't
that
know
was
if I've
gross.
ever seen that in a movie ever, like, somebody getting their birth control taken
I've
out of
never
there.
even, I mean, I know one person that, like, I know of. It's not like I have, "Hey, what type of birth control are you on?" Like, I don't have that
Right.
conversation with people, but my one roommate in college, she got the implant, like, in her like, forearm, and she's the
Mhm.
only person that I knew that had something like that, and you could, like, kind of feel it in there, like, it was weird, but she's the only one that I know that has had something like that, so, like, it's never even been, like, a topic of conversation or, like, what's it like,
No.
or how do they take it
Like, what's
out,
okay?
like
I know that was so I do think it was interesting that they had those 2 characters, like Sophie Thatcher's character and then I don't know the other actress's name, having one that was, like, had believed or had been indoctrined since a child, and then to have the one that's a newer one.
Yeah.
That was a cool thing. I kinda wish they could've made the movie, like, go less in the weird direction and actually, like, I don't know, expanded on that a little bit more.
Yeah, because once we kinda got when they were in the, like, basement area or whatever, when they were stuck down there and they were witnessing the I don't what did he even call it?
Miracle, I think
Did
it
he
was
call it a
calling it a
miracle?
miracle.
I'm kinda like, "Okay, so we're just moving past kinda like the traditional religious beliefs."
Mhm.
Which is fine, but it just the way
Right.
it was set up originally, like, from the beginning of the movie, it was so strong with the
Yeah,
Mormon beliefs and stuff, so you kinda thought that it was gonna continue on, like, almost Mormon versus Catholic in a way,
right.
but then it wasn't like that at all.
I know.
So, I don't know. I mean, it was an enjoyable watch, but it kind of lost me a little bit in the middle. And then I came back and was interested. Like, it was just a little slow. But I thought Hugh Grant was cool in it. Like, that was different from anything that I've seen him do. So I appreciate that.
I know, I'd love to see him as some kinda, like, villain
I
again. It was
know.
really it was a cool like, he was very mesmerizing,
I
and then I
know.
just love that Sophie Thatcher, I'm starting to love her and her voice. Her voice to me is just like it's just so deep and feminine and,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. But yeah, I wish it could I think that's a movie that would be better to be sitting next to somebody and watching.
Yeah. Cause I mean, did you just watch that at home?
Mhm.
Yeah, so and obviously I was just on a plane, so I wasn't talking with anyone about it. So, yeah, it was funny. When I was on the way home, I didn't watch a movie because I was in the middle seat and I just read the whole time. But the woman next to me was kind of like a middle-aged woman, and for some reason, whatever, obviously, like her preferences are, who cares? But she put on Nosferatu, and I was like, oh, I don't know if you're
On
gonna
the
like
plane?
this.
Yeah.
It was just
That's
fun. So I
funny.
kept like looking over at her
I'm
screen.
like, what's her reaction?
Yeah. The other movie I watched, which I have seen it a million times, but I think they just had was it the 20th anniversary of Pride and Prejudice?
Yeah.
And so I threw that on just kind of like while I was coming in and out of sleep and just to listen to it. That movie still just is so good, you know? I mean, obviously that is such a classic piece of fiction, but like the movie is just so well done.
Mhm. Like a good adaptation.
Yes, and, like, I thought the casting was so great, like, everybody in there was just so wonderfully cast, and it just, like to know that they're doing the remake of it, I just feel a little disheartened because I just
I
don't think it's gonna be as good.
right. I know because and that was just such an era with those period movies that were coming out.
You
And
know,
they like even the ones that were maybe not as strong were just so beautiful to watch.
I know. I'm gonna look up because I can't even remember who they have as the cast on that one.
Mhm.
Um, I remember like seeing everything, but I can't remember because they did announce who was gonna be. Okay, so Emma Corrin is supposed to be Elizabeth Bennet. That's like a fine
Right.
casting, but it's just you just see Keira Knightley. Like it's so hard to like imagine anybody else. Um, Jack Loudon or Loden, I'm not Loden maybe is Mr. Darcy, which I don't. Do you know what else he is in?
No, but that his name sounds familiar.
Oh, it's Saoirse Ronan's husband.
Oh, I forgot she was fully married.
He was in that movie Slow or that show Slow Horses, which I haven't seen.
Oh, and he was in
Mary,
Mary Queen of Scots. Is that how
yeah,
they met?
maybe another movie with Saoirse, Dunkirk, Fighting with My Family.
Yeah, nothing's like jumping out at me.
No, so he's Mr. Darcy, and then
So it's kind of an
Emma
older
or
I mean,
Olivia
not
Colman is Mrs. Bennet, and I think that's all that they have so far.
hmm,
Yeah, it seems like a little bit.
an older cast, not like
Yeah,
psycho older or anything.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it'll be bad, but I just rewatching that that make of it or the I think that's the original, right? They had never made another movie of it,
I yeah, I don't think so.
um, or at least the modern day
Right.
version if they did an older one. But it's just so good, and like when you think of Mr. Darcy, you think of that Mr. Darcy. And when you think of
Right.
Elizabeth Bennet, you think of that Elizabeth Bennet. Like, so it's
Mhm.
going to be hard to change your
I
mindset.
don't know why they won't do unless they have and I'm just totally missed that it existed, the Pride and Prejudice or what's it called? And Zombies or something?
Oh, yeah.
Like why have we not made that? Or maybe
Do
they
that.
have.
Do
Maybe I'm
that with
wrong.
this cast.
Yeah, and like do that and have this really fun version of it instead of doing like the
Just the exact same.
yeah. Oh wait, they do have it.
Oh, they do. 2016. Well, I think that was
Oh.
a blip on the radar that I don't ever recall.
Wasn't it Lily James was Elizabeth Bennet and Sam
Yeah.
Riley?
Matt
Oh.
Smith is in it. Well,
Oh.
I
I was
uh,
gonna say
I
missed opportunity there, but I
I
guess they already took
certainly
that.
missed the boat on that one.
I know, like let's do that instead.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
anyway.
Um, and they've been announcing the new cast of the new Hunger Games movie.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I know, and it looks like it's gonna be so good.
Who did they
I'm
have,
still waiting on the book.
was it Elle Fanning? Is that who they had as,
Mhm.
what's her
Effie,
name? Effie, yeah.
which is a I yes, I'm happy that like big stars will like do these movies because they turn out so good.
Yeah, I think that's
They're
why they
just
do
such
it.
a good yeah, like heck yeah, I'm gonna be in this. And I'm like dying for the book. I'm still on the wait list.
When did it come out?
I think just like two I wanna I thought it came out in March.
Isn't
Maybe
it
I'm wrong.
crazy
Maybe it
how
was earlier.
They're literally like the book just came out, like,
They
within a couple.
literally when they announced the book, they're like, "Yeah, book comes out in 2025, movies coming out in 2026."
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
"Holy crap." I know, and it literally, like, they are freaking and now I don't know when they're gonna start filming, but they're just, like, announcing the cast, like, they're
Well, they're
freaking
gonna have
announcing the
to
Hunger
start
Games
filming
tributes.
soon if it's gonna come out
Yeah,
in 2026.
mhm, and then Jesse Plemons is gonna be Snow.
Jesse Plemons is busy.
I know,
He's
we love
keeping
that
busy
for
out here.
I know, which is so funny because he's kind of, I mean, I have no idea what he's like in real life, but he always kind of plays these like he's definitely versatile.
To say the least. Yeah, to say the very least, he's versatile.
You know, our guy is working, man.
He
So the
just won't
Fanning
quit.
sisters are working. I'm love to see it, but
I
I'm so
know.
excited. And then when those TikToks kept popping up, it was like I kept trying to get off it because I'm like, no, any secrets.
Yeah, you don't
I
wanna
just
ruin
wanna
it.
be surprised, but
I
so
know.
that's gonna be a huge movie. I'll probably have to go see that in theaters 'cause
Yeah, that'll be a good one, though.
I know. I love that she's kinda, like, doing these like, taking these characters and giving us their backstories, and it's like we don't have to keep dragging out Katniss and all that. We can literally just have these new moments, and there's so many ways to explore it, and even characters we don't know, you could still make, like, a Hunger Games spinoff. That
Well,
could be
that's
just as riveting.
yeah, that's what I was about to say too. She really was smart to do the book how she did because you have, like, decades of stuff
Yeah, like the backstory
before.
of
Yeah,
everything.
backstory, so you can
And we
really.
could do, like, a whole other trilogy from a different district.
Yeah, this could go
Great.
on forever.
I know. Bring it on.
We've been living with this for decades ourselves
I know.
now.
Keep them coming. I'm too damn old to
Yeah.
be still watching and caring about it, but I don't care. It's too
Well,
good.
because at this point, it's like it's probably, young adult fiction. That's what
Yeah.
it was classified as. But it's like, that's not even fair because we were young adults when we first started getting interested. And now you keep bringing all these new things.
I know, like have to. It's like just like if Harry Potter, if they do like an actual mini or series or like a season for each thing, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be watching these
Yeah,
11-year-olds. I
yeah,
don't
you
care.
best believe.
Always sitting right there. Oh man, but
It's
anywho,
funny.
I'm excited for that. But I did it. Companion came on Max or Prime,
Mhm.
so I watched it. I wasn't as crazy about it as I was expecting, and it was definitely different. Not, I don't say different than I was expecting, but a little bit. It
In
was
a
a
bad
like
way?
I no, it
Just
just
different.
was. Yeah, it was kind of interesting what they did with it, actually. And I do think it has a lot of cool commentary just about, AI partners and like
Yeah.
if you're like abusing them and can they have like emotions and stuff. And I don't know, I liked it, but I wasn't going nutso for it.
Mm. I wonder how that ended up doing because they had a lot of press for it, but
I
then
know, and it
once
seemed
it
like a lot of people enjoyed it.
yeah, but like once it released after Valentine's Day, it kind of like died down, and I don't know. I didn't really get
I
the
know, and it
full
came
vibe of how well it did.
Me either, and it came out slightly before Valentine's Day too, because I think even in our theater, it was gone by then, and then I ended up going to see the,
Hard Eyes one.
Hard Eyes, yeah, and I'm actually glad I saw that one in theaters if I had the opportunity to have chosen between those 2 just because that was more of a fun, like,
Watch.
theater experience, but I mean, it was still good. Maybe I'd like it more on a rewatch because there were just kinda, like, a lot of, like, little detailed things that I
Yeah,
just wasn't sure what way this movie was gonna go the whole time.
yeah.
Um, but I don't remember what I was listening to, but they were talking about kind of the marketing for that and how they did have to give you that she was a robot, even though that's kind of not really a twist in the movie, but it is kind of a twist like what they do with the fact that she's the AI or the robot. Bec- So, but I don't know. I guess with just the way everything was, it was I don't know. I think the reveal of her being a robot would have been cooler to have not known, but then how would people have understood what the movie was about if you
Well,
didn't do
you could
that?
have kinda just led people down a, um, you know, dead end essentially, and they could have just made it
Mhm.
like they could have made it more vague where they just show her like looking like the perfect housewife and then she
See,
snapped.
yeah, see, I think they could have maybe done that. And I don't even know if I saw a full trailer for it.
I think I did because I looked it up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I ended up seeing I know I saw like the advertisements for it, but yeah, I think they could have just made her like, oh, she's perfect, but she has a secret or
Yeah.
something, and this is why all this happens. And then when you get to like because there's like one specific shot of like zooming in on her suitcase and you see like her little like charger.
And then
And I
that's how
think
you
that would
know.
have been a cooler thing to not like, oh, why are we zooming in on that?
Well,
Like this
because
USB thing.
I think they almost could have like in the trailers, like if they wanted to kind of have like some commentary from her, they could have just made it like that internal dialogue of just like
Mhm.
the same way that they basically did like I don't know what the main guy's name was. I can't think of it, but like, oh, he thinks he's so smart, like he wants to keep me like this submissive,
Mhm.
housewife, which is like from what I gathered from the trailer, kind of what they do, but then you realize that she, is a little bot and out that he wants her to not be as intelligent as she is. It's like you could have played that and made us think that she was just a real person. And I think it would have been believable.
I know, and it would have been a cool twist. And there's so many like the movie's kind of like all over the place with its like twists. Like it just kind of throws you around so much that that would have been even cooler to be like, oh my gosh, then she was a robot, and this was
Yeah.
all part of their plan, and then their plan's like going crazy. Um,
Well,
but it
I
was
think
pretty
it would have been a little
funny,
different too because we would have been surprised that it was a AI robot
right?
story and not just like, oh, here's another one of these, like we kind of originally felt.
Right. There was a funny thing, like when you get your little like AI robot, you can like program in like a meet cute. Those were some funny parts, and actually it was funny too because that song, I think it's just called Boo Thang, that was in Minecraft was in this movie, and it was just kind of funny to have like these two movies from the same year, like just have this like whatever you call it, needle drop, pin drop of the song "You My Little Boo Thing."
Yeah.
It's just
Why
so
was
that was
that
really
in
funny.
Minecraft?
What?
Why was that in Minecraft?
It was like when Jack Black comes and saves them. It's like
Oh,
and
of
then he's like
course.
fighting off the zombies. It's like, "You my little boo." And we had been listening to like the Minecraft soundtrack a little bit, and so that song came on. And then when I watched Companion, I was like, "Oh my gosh, not this song!" And it was still like again another ridiculous scene with this song playing, and I was like, "No,
What do
good
you
for
think
that guy."
what do you think that some artists, like, think when they're like, "We wanna use your song for a movie, and they're probably like, "Oh my god, amazing! Yes,
True.
100% use it." And then they see what it was used.
And then for your song, like I was just saying, it's like for 2 such ridiculous scenes to happen, it's just so funny. But it's also crazy too because it's like and maybe like Bittersweet Symphony, maybe that was in some other movies in the time, but how can you not think of the ending of Cruel
Yeah,
Intentions?
literally.
You know, and then for it to be, like, in another movie in the same-ish well, I guess it was in the same year, but,
Same
you know, just, like, in
time.
the same amount of time frame, like, it just
Mhm.
seems like you associate songs with certain movies. I don't know, it's
I
just, like
know.
or, like, My Heart Will Go On. Can you imagine if that would have been, like, in another movie, but in a serious way? Like, I don't know.
It wouldn't feel right.
No. So, that was just kind of funny. I mean, I
Mm.
liked the movie, but
So there were some comical points.
there were, which I thought was pretty fun.
Yeah, to lighten it up a little bit.
And then Jack Quaid
Oh,
was
yeah.
pretty he was pretty know what to think of him because it just, like, plays that a little too good. Just like a terrible man.
Who wants a submissive wife?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, dude, but he was good in there.
Is life imitating art here? I don't know.
I know, because he was in the Scream remake, right?
No, he was just in that Novocaine too, that action one.
Oh, my guy is working again.
Yeah,
Everybody's working right
he
now.
needs to bring home the money, obviously.
I know he just has like he's just
Just
good
can't
in that.
stop.
Oh, and he's in that The Boys too,
Oh, yeah, that was what his,
which I've
like,
never watched.
first thing was. Me either.
Yeah, he
Um,
was like, yeah, good for him.
I wanted to I know we don't usually talk about stuff like this on the pod, but I thought it was a little bit interesting. And then I don't know if you have anything else, but that's a solid almost hour of our news. But did you see all the drama with Bill Belichick and his much younger girlfriend that came out this week?
I don't think I did.
Well, apparently he was doing I think it was like a CBS News interview, and I don't even know what it was about. Obviously, something football related, probably, but I don't know why randomly he was getting interviewed. And then apparently, his girlfriend was like sitting off uh, video off camera, and when they asked like certain questions, and I don't know what exactly they were because I didn't watch the actual clip of this, but she was like there on the sidelines, like, no, he's not answering that.
Oh, wait, I think I did see a little bit of something like that.
And they said that she was super disruptive and like a problem on set. And now there's all this stuff coming out where like she's a controlling girlfriend, and people of course have come out of the woodwork and said, well, I'm not surprised because she had this type of relationship with a boyfriend in high school. It's like, okay, I know she's young, but like, let's not dig up her high school relationship.
My gosh.
But then I saw, I think it was Charles, oh no, it was either Charles Barkley or Shaquille O'Neal, I can't remember who. But another one in the sports world, and he was being interviewed, and they asked him about what do you think? And he's like, well, I'm not really like here to comment on somebody's personal life, but it kind of made me want to reach out to him to see if everything's okay. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, should we really be concerned
I
about this
know, like,
man?
what's gonna happen here? It's not unheard of, that's for sure.
It would just be so crazy. Like, everybody's like, oh my God, look at him with this young one. This is
I know,
ridiculous.
she
But really, it's her.
You're like, "Ew, that's so gross," and she's over there, like, she's got the whole thing figured out.
She's
She is not a
literally
young, innocent victim.
she has him, like, freaking tied up in the basement when they go home, like, I mean, what is going on? That's just crazy to think about.
It is funny. Like,
But, yeah,
"Girl."
everybody's just been going on about that, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's like we said about the age gap stuff before. It's like, is it kinda weird that he's, like, 70 some it's like 24. Yeah, that is weird. But I mean, I don't know. It seems like she's getting quite a bit out of this relationship, and maybe he's just looking for companionship and he doesn't care in what form that comes.
Mhm,
Or maybe he just wants somebody young to take care of him in his with his ailing health. I don't know.
mhm.
But anyway, that was just kind of comical to see that stuff coming out this week. Did you have any other topics to bring up before we move on to
No,
our?
I don't believe I do.
Well, this week we had a couple movies starring Cate Blanchett, which I had never seen either of these. They had Carol and Notes on a Scandal. And then
Yeah, I
Hannah,
have not seen those 2 either.
well, you said that you hadn't seen Coyote Ugly either, right?
No, I have not seen that one either.
Okay, so these were all new ones for you.
All
And
brand new, and I had not seen Erin Brockovich either. I
yeah,
think I have seen, like, pieces of it, but it wasn't
yeah,
anything that, like, helped me in on the thing or anything.
yeah. I have seen pieces of Erin Brockovich too. Unfortunately, as I said at the top of the episode, I still have not seen that movie because of a mistake on my part. But do you want to let's start with Coyote Ugly, and then we can talk
Or
about
the other
Kate
2.
Blanchett movies because they kind of fit together, those two.
Yes.
Um,
Um,
as I had mentioned previously, I had seen this movie and didn't particularly enjoy it the first time. So, what were your thoughts after the first watch?
felt like a time capsule, which I kind of like, I liked the vibe of it, like, it just kinda reminded me of, because 'cause I'm like, at first I was like, I kinda like this in the way, like, I like Lizzie McGuire movie, but then I'm like, I actually like the Lizzie McGuire movie more than I liked this. But I
Mhm.
do think it was just kind of a fun, silly movie of the time with, like, the perfect clothes, and all the girls at the bar had the perfect outfits, perfect hair, perfect makeup. So it's like it was fun to just stare at it. But then I wasn't expecting, not that there was a ton of plot, but I wasn't really expecting that there was like a little backstory where she's like wants to write music and stuff.
I know it almost was unnecessary to even have that.
I know, like, I couldn't she just be like the small town girl with the big dreams? And it's like she was only going from Jersey to New York City. It
I
wasn't
know, that's the
like
thing
she was
too.
traveling from
It's not
North
even far.
Dakota
Oh my god, all of a sudden it just started raining really hard. That startled me. Really loud
to do
outside
that
my
all
door.
day.
But yeah, and I also, upon second watch, I forgot that she was just from New Jersey, and I'm like, at the beginning, oh, she's packing up, she's going, which is dumb because I remembered that her name at Coyote Ugly was Jersey.
See, you're
So I don't know.
well, and it was kind of funny too when she's like, "I'll be back on the weekend, Dad." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh
I
yeah, I
know.
guess she literally would just go
Literally,
back on the
you're not
weekend."
going far. But yeah, I mean, first of all, I like I just don't really like this movie because it's not like well done in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
the
it's got
acting
that
isn't good.
corny, like it gives that vibe of like what was that movie called? Like From Justin to
Oh,
Kelly.
yeah,
Just like that
that they
bad
were contractually
2000s.
obligated to make.
Yeah, just like these kind of like bad, and some of those I think I really do like. I think at some point I would watch this again, but it wasn't my favorite of that.
Yeah,
And I
like
didn't have any nostalgia remembrance for it or
yeah,
anything.
unfortunately, my nostalgia was negative, so it's just brought that up again, but and I don't even know why. I think it was just like, yeah, the writing isn't good. So it just is hard to even like the delivery of some of the lines, you're like, oh God. And then the storyline is so predictable. And I will say, not enough Tyra Banks
I
whatsoever.
know.
If she
Why
was in it
couldn't
more, I think it would have been more fun.
I know, like, it was such a cameo, like, I was honestly like 'cause she's, like, on the cover and everything, I thought she was gonna be in this a little bit more, but gosh, it was just, like, just seeing her ugh, I
I
don't know,
know.
I mean, I know she's a very controversial character now, but just seeing her,
The
like, in
time.
that moment of
Yeah,
time, and then when she did end up, like, coming back at the end, I was like, "Ah, I didn't think we were gonna see."
I know. Like, she just looks so hot through the whole
She
thing, you
did,
know?
I
You're like,
know, and she
"Oh,
had that cool girl, like,
yeah,
model off duty.
I know." I will say, I did a little digging because when I the first time, because this used to be a movie that they played on E all the time.
Yes,
That's when I
all the time.
literally all the time, and that's where I first saw it. So this was, like, like, I was probably a teenager when I first saw this movie. And then, I haven't watched it again since now. But when I first saw that she walks into the Coyote Ugly bar, and it shows like the outside shot, I was like, that looks familiar. So I look up where was it shot. Sure enough, this was shot, well, not the whole thing, but the exterior shots were shot right by where one of the places I worked in New York. And so I recognized it, the area. And then I was doing other digging, and they said that they based the inside of the bar off this New York bar that was right in that meatpacking district area called Hogs and Heifers, which was a biker bar. And I went to, and I think something was put in my drink there. So I was just like, oh, okay, it was kind of cool to like see that. And
Mhm,
well, the first time I watched it, I didn't obviously have those experiences or like recognize those things because I never
mhm.
had seen them before. Now this time I was like, oh, that's interesting. The inside of this bar, just as somebody who like, if you know anything in New York, there's 0% chance they would have that much real estate to have this huge bar. But like, and then I was also thinking while watching, would I enjoy going into this bar? And
I
I
know,
think
well,
no.
I know, because they kinda try to play it up like, "Oh, this is just where guys go to see the hot girls dancing," but then they'd be like, "Ladies!"
Yeah,
So I'm like, "What is this vibe?" And then it was like the customers didn't get up on the bar, but just the bartenders
yeah,
did. So I'm like, I don't know. I think it would be fun if they were like, "Oh, we're gonna pick a girl and she comes
yeah,
up." But we didn't really get to see like that much of the bar either. Like we were just like slammed up front at that,
yeah.
at the actual bar.
I mean, I guess this would have been a completely different movie, but I think if it would have been just about the bar and the dynamic at the bar,
I agree.
it would have
Yeah.
been a bit more interesting, and like,
Right.
I
And you
don't
coulda
know.
even still had just, like, a little bit of her, like, taking her demos places or
Yeah.
whatever, but I
We
think it
didn't
would've been a
need
way
all that.
No, like, I went into the women more, like, to get to know the women and, like, have that little bit of aggressive, like, this is what you do, and the hazing and
Mhm.
different customers that coulda came in, like, I think that would have been a lot more fun of, movie because
Yeah,
the other girls were so intriguing too, and then we're like, "No, actually, this is a heartfelt movie." I'm like, "I
I know. It's like,
need to
really?
be
But
on."
they're these, like, badass chicks in New York, and we kinda lost it a little bit.
I know, because even when she first meets, like, that woman who's gonna hire her, like, that was a cool
Yeah,
scene, like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hire you because you look like a school teacher, and the
yeah,
guys are gonna love that," and then John Goodman jump scare.
I
It's like,
know.
"Oh, why have I never heard he's in this movie?"
I forgot about that. I actually think that he plays
I
his
know he
role
was
fine.
I know, like, he was a cute, sweet, lovable
Yeah.
dad.
And then at the ending is so, like, ridiculous in my
I
opinion. Like, how many holes can I poke in this story? But, like, the very end where, like, suddenly John Goodman is fine with his daughter working at Coyote Ugly, and he goes so far as to be so fine with it that he jumps up on the bar himself and auctions himself off. I'm like, "Okay." But, I mean, it was just cute. Like, his role was cute in it.
I know, he was that cute, like, dad. Well, what would your dad do if he's you working at Coyote Ugly in this make-believe world?
And he find out that I was doing that.
I know. You're like, he just walks in, "Oh, you're working at this little bar, huh?"
I
You're like,
If that were me, I would probably not be speaking to my dad anymore. Like, I would
"Oh,
be
man."
so humiliated and he would be so mad.
You know, I'd be like, just yeah. But it is kind of funny, like, with this movie, because now it's almost like you're supposed to be like, yeah, it's totally okay if you're working these like scandalous
Yeah,
jobs, where back then that was so taboo. Like, what do you mean? And comparatively, like, what is she even doing besides wearing like cute, like a
literally nothing.
skimpy,
Not
not even skimpy
even.
outfit,
Yeah.
dancing on top of the bar? Like, it's not,
I mean, and compared to the other girls, like, I think that her outfits were the worst most of the time. She wore
yeah.
these, I mean, they were the times, the 2000s skirts, but it's like the other girls are looking hot in these leather pants.
I
Like, why
know,
do you
just
have a
total vibe.
bootleg skirt on?
I know. I know it really tried because at first it's like the way she was like this wide-eyed small town girl going through New York, and it was almost like playing up these kind of like stereotype New
Yeah,
York like stuff, and I'm like, I guess they were just trying to capture, what it would look like for a small town girl who, I'm sorry, but I don't believe she's never been to New York if
I know,
she
she
lives
lives
in
in
Jersey.
Jersey. She never
I know.
freaking took the bridge over, like, are you kidding
Like, I
me?
just find that hard to believe. So, but it would have made more sense that if it was, I don't even know, anywhere else and she was coming, then I feel like that point of view they were trying to say would have worked a little bit better,
Yeah.
but the Jersey thing was just not
You bring up
buying
a
it.
good point about, just how, like, if they did this movie today, it would be so much more accepted of a career
Yeah, like,
in it.
you'd
But, like,
have to
that boyfriend is like, "I'm following my dreams with dignity." It's like, she's literally not doing anything bad.
be wrong. She's probably making pretty good tips, like, all
Yeah,
those women there, and then at the end of the night, you get on the bar and dance. It's like,
sounds
I don't
easy to
know.
me.
You know, sounds quite fun,
Yeah.
actually. And that the boyfriend or whatever, he was because I kept looking at him, I'm like, "Who is that?" And he was in Riding in Cars with Boys. He was a son, just random.
Mm,
So it's like, I don't know, that's another movie that's just like such an era. And then the Leanne Rimes jump scare.
yes. Well, the thing is, I remember when that song came out, obviously I was too
Yeah,
young to have watched this movie at the time, but, like, that was such a good song, and I liked
I
that song,
know.
and then but I totally forgot that she makes a cameo with
I
at
was
the
like,
end.
"Come on, since this is your song." That is such a strange because when um, when that song came on, I'm like, "Oh," like, when Piper Perabo was singing it, I was like, "Is that what this song is from?" So I
Yeah.
had to, like, fully look it up because I wasn't even thinking about LeAnn Rimes in any way. I'm like, "Why is this song, like, triggering me?" And then it said LeAnn Rimes sings it, so I'm like, "Oh, well, did she sing it for this soundtrack then?" Like, I got really thrown off, but it reminds me of the Cheetah Girls too, where they would,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
take these other songs and then say it's the Cheetah Girls. Like, I wonder why they wouldn't just use an original song.
I thought that she did it for the movie
But
'cause
it's just, like, weird to then have, like, the character that be
they
her song. I don't
yeah.
know, it's just kinda, like, strange, and then to have Leon Rimes, the real singer,
Well,
come
because she did,
cameo.
because I had looked it up, um, and I didn't look up everything, but it said that Leanne Rimes did, like, 3 or 4 songs for this movie.
Hmm,
So then I was like, "Wait, did she sing the entire thing?" But I don't she wasn't
right.
dubbing over everything, but
Yeah,
she
I got confused about that too. I'm like, "Oh, she's being Piper Parabo's voice," and then
yeah,
I'm like, "It doesn't really sound like her, but that doesn't mean much," and then I'm like, "No." When she was
yeah,
singing at the end, I'm like, "No, she wasn't."
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, that was all a little,
yeah,
like,
it was
and I
kinda
think
odd.
just not knowing or, like, being young at the time this came out, that's why it was, like, more confusing.
Yeah. I mean, it it certainly isn't a movie just to kind of, I don't know, give an overall thought. Like, it's not a movie that I personally feel like any sort of connection to. So it's not one where I can be like, oh, that's my comfort watch or anything.
Right.
But when I watch it, I just kind of take it for what it is, and like at its face value, like it's not a great movie, but like upon another watch, it's like it is kind of fun, if you
Mhm.
can look past all these
The
like
corny thing.
tropes and corny things, like it's a fun concept.
Yeah, I think it was just kinda doing too much, like, having the almost romantic comedy, them, like, shopping around thing, the complicated thing that they don't even really get into with the dad, and then,
Yeah,
like, the actual job itself, but then also her wanting to become I don't know, it was trying to get too many things when I
yeah.
think just that Coyote Ugly part was so fun. I wish they woulda did a lot more and gave it a little less heart, maybe.
I know, and then we could have just explored more of the other girls. That's what I wanted to say too. The one, I knew I recognized her, Bridget Moynihan, Tom Brady's original baby mama.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
So,
that
yeah,
was kind of a shock there for her to be in that. I didn't
yes.
even know that she was in that movie.
No. I know that's
And
kinda
did you
funny.
know that she was Natasha in Sex and the City?
I think yes, but not by putting the 2 and 2 together, if
Yeah,
that
I
makes
didn't
sense.
realize that.
I'm like, "That's what I know the name from," and then you're like, but I also know the name from Tom Brady," but it not, like, putting the 2 and 2 together.
Right.
What
So
yeah, like, what is she doing now?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's why sometimes these movies that came out when they did and they have these you're like, "What are you doing here?" And it's like, it's just such a time capsule.
I know. Like I was so shocked to
Mhm.
like look her up and be like, wait, I know that name, and then click and oh my
Like,
God,
wait a
Tom
minute.
Brady.
I know, it's
So
just
Well, let's move into our other two. Do you want to start with Carol or maybe Notes on a Scandal because it's the older one?
Let's start with Carol. Did
Okay.
you like this one?
I thought it was really slow.
Mhm. It was
Um,
very yeah, too long, I'd
yeah, too
say.
long. It felt long. I liked the idea of
Yeah,
exploring a same sex relationship in that time period.
yeah,
I mean, that's certainly not something that we really like heard much about at all with like two women who kind of are attracted to each other and then get into this pseudo relationship. And then of course it's just like because of the times, um, it's just expected that women would get married to men and that was
mhm,
it. So I did like that and kind of how they had their little meet cute and
mhm.
I think just like not being in that situation myself and having it be like in a of like a period piece still, it's like so fascinating to me to get a little glimpse into like how people who were like attracted to somebody of the same sex made that known without making it known to
Yeah,
everybody. Like, that's
mhm.
so fascinating to me because, like, how scary that was to have to be open about that kind of thing.
Right, because it's like now you can literally put it in your social media bio
Yeah,
if you choose to,
right,
where
and
then it
everybody
was like
knows your
yeah,
preference, yeah, but then you had no idea, and it was just assumed that, like, oh, a man liked women and a woman liked men, and that was it, but, like so that's why I thought the counter where she bought the toy for Christmas and then left her gloves, it's like, okay, she intentionally kinda did these things to intrigue and let Rooney Mara's character know, you know, I'm interested.
I know. And even to just both of them dressing very femininely because
Yes.
that's what you did back then. So it's like how not that, every gay woman they all dress differently and stuff, but there's
Yeah,
no real indicator when everybody's doing their hair and makeup the same basically.
I
Which
know.
both of them looked gorgeous in this. Like just some on those like still shots where they were like sitting at dinner and the way their hair and makeup was, I was like, why
Cate
has nobody
Blanchett,
suggested? I know, and even Rooney Mara, there's some parts I'm like, why has nobody suggested her for Audrey Hepburn? Because they had like the same eyebrows and
yeah,
just like the angles of their faces. I was like, ugh. And just the lighting bouncing off their makeup was
I know.
just
I really liked,
chef's kiss.
kind of the first half of the movie where Rooney Mara was a little bit younger and, like, not super comfortable in herself, and then after
Yeah.
she has her tryst, with Carol, she kind of comes into her own a bit and we see a change in her hair and how she's doing her
Mhm.
makeup and like she it's almost like when she at the beginning she's a little mousy, like she's
Yeah,
still really pretty but like almost you wouldn't even notice that she was pretty and then
right.
once she had that haircut and it was like oh my god like there she is she's so
Goddess.
stunning.
I know, like, just even those, like, the near the last scene where they're, like, sitting at the table together, and just when it kept flipping back and forth from
Yeah,
woman to woman, I was like, "Oh my
I
gosh,
can't handle the
gorgeous."
beauty.
I know, it's just, like, so perfectly
I know, I know.
and the
Cate
styling was so
Blanchett
good.
is just so beautiful.
Regal. I know, I was thinking that, I'm like, what would it be like just to be, like that regal beauty where it's like you're so timeless. It's like, are you
Yeah,
24 or are you 56? You
you
know, you
don't
can't
know.
tell. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to look up um how many awards that won because I remember,
I know. I remember it being in the conversation.
yeah. Actually maybe it didn't win.
Maybe
It
it
won
didn't.
it won in Cannes, but it didn't win. I know it was nominated.
Um, yeah, this actually has a pretty good score on Letterbox.
What's the rating?
Can't remember. But a ton let me look it up real fast. But a ton of like 4, 4.5, and 5 stars,
Oh,
which
that's
is
good.
pretty which is quite the rarity on it's got a 4.
That's good.
Yeah.
It so Rooney Mara won Best Actress at Cannes, and then it was nominated for 6 Oscars, but it didn't win.
Wow.
Best Actress, Supporting Actress, Cinematography, Adapted Screenplay, and then I bet there was one for costume. Same with Golden Globe nominations, but it didn't win. So interesting. I think that was a that must have been a stiff year.
I know, was it
2015.
2015? Yeah.
Yeah. What else did we have that year? We had American Sniper, Birdman, Boyhood, Grand Budapest Hotel, The
Oh,
Imitation Game, Selma, The Theory of Everything, Whiplash.
oh, that was a yeah,
That's a
because
huge year.
I did see Birdman is streaming now, so we might have to throw that on there. I
Yeah,
remember
we
liking
should.
that the first
I
time.
did too. I liked that the first time I saw it. I would watch that one again.
Yeah, I think I've only seen it once.
Me too.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
so
The Imitation Game, that was good. Theory of Everything was good.
those two
Boyhood
were really
was
up.
interesting.
Imitation Game and Theory of Everything were really like
That
neck
was
and neck.
too I know I was gonna say that was too heavy, period pieces.
Yeah, that was a good year.
Whiplash is amazing, yeah.
Great year. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the movie, I guess. Like I wouldn't watch it again, I don't think, just because it was pretty slow, but like I enjoyed the story it told. I just
Right.
it wasn't super captivating besides how amazing they looked.
I know, like the styling and yeah, I would say the cinematography was really good too. Just
Yeah.
like I'm not surprised that one. There's a lot of cool shots and just yeah, the way it was filmed and the conversations and stuff. But I just think it was I don't know, like it w- there was some like the whole storyline with her daughter and like getting the custody taken away and the angry man who, or the husband. I don't know. Yeah, I just think it was a little too long. I think if it would have been an hour and 50 minutes, maybe I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. It was just a slower moving or slower paced movie. But yeah, it wasn't boring, no. It just
There was a
I
lot
didn't have
going
to
on,
yeah, I
but
didn't have to fully pay attention to it.
yeah, and there were a lot of things happening with the different like plot points, but it almost was like, okay, I probably could have just read between the lines on some of these things.
Yeah, I kind of almost wish it would have focused a little bit more on the two women's relationship
Mhm. Yeah, there was a lot of extra.
versus all the side parts. Yeah, it's like we could have understood that, like, yeah, like you said, reading between the lines, like, yeah, she's struggling in her marriage because she got married and that wasn't, being true to herself, and then the other girl having the guy be like, "Why aren't you marrying me? Like, this is
Mhm.
what we do." So, yeah, it was a good. I just wasn't, like, enthralled with it.
Me either, yeah, it was just too slow in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, to compare that with,
Yeah.
Notes on a Scandal, I was so captivated by this
I know,
film.
I thought this was such a fun film, and it was short, it was like an
Mhm.
hour and a half, and we got a lot of story, and I didn't realize that these, 2 movies were not really that similar, but
But
kind of.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
like, thematically a little bit. Yeah, I really liked this, and, I thought it had some really it was really interesting just because female relationships can be so complicated in the way this and obviously the older woman was a little deranged
Yeah.
maybe, but just like, are you in love with each other? Or are you not? But then you hate each other, but you're so
Mhm.
codependent on each other. And even just taking that like older, younger dynamic too, where
Yeah,
it's like you want this mentor to care for you and maybe even like a motherly or like a maternal
figure.
figure for you. But I thought it was really interesting. And then when she was like having the affair with the student, like I, even though like now I know that, it's like that's really wrong, but how
Mhm.
could you not, as like this older woman who doesn't have this relationship with those students at all, not be like fully intrigued with what's happening
I
here?
know.
Even though you know it's so wrong, you're
I
like,
know.
I
You're
don't
not
know.
gonna
And then just
tell.
yeah, and then just to have that power over somebody.
I know. And the way she's like, "You need to tell me every detail of
Yeah.
this." And it's like, "You need to stop, but don't stop." Like, it was
Stop.
just so like, Judi Dench was so good in
She
this.
was, and
Yeah,
she
she was
was
great. I mean, yeah, I really liked it. It is so interesting too because we've talked about this with just multiple other, like, shows and movies I know with just the, older usually in film, it's like the older woman with this younger student and stuff. And obviously, in real life, like we can all agree that that's completely
completely
inappropriate
wrong.
and
Right.
wrong and like not, that's disgusting behavior. But when you see it in a movie like that, to me, I'm like totally like taken out of the realm of reality that like, oh,
Right.
this is something that legitimately does happen. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I can see why Kate Blanchett's character
Well,
is doing this.
I thought something that was really interesting that they did with her character is they did give her a very complicated home life. Like,
Yes,
she
they
has a
did.
disabled son.
An older husband.
Yes, and just that dynamic, like, I know it's so wrong, but they, like, made her sympathetic, like, if you did have all these things at home that are maybe causing emotional distress and worry, that you
Yeah.
would almost like, and then this young, well, I mean, just anything comes in and takes
Yeah, it could be
that away
anybody
from
really.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then, like,
and
the one shot where it was kind of the beginning of their, you know, romantic, relationship where, like, he kind of I think we find out that it was a lie about his home life, but I think that was the telling her about it, and she was being sympathetic to him, and then he kinda, like, grabbed her face and was like, "You're so wonderful," or "beautiful," or whatever he
right.
said, and in that moment, you're like, "Well, he came on to her," but in real life, you're like, "Absolute." You hear people
You
say that, and you're like,
sicko.
"Disgusting. A
You're like, he's
child
a
can't come on."
of course, you say no.
Yeah. But, like, when you see it in film, it's like, this isn't real at all. Like, that's where
I
my
know.
mind goes.
I know. Or like I know, cause like, in my head, I know, like, no, this isn't gonna be a romantic situation.
Yeah,
He's not gonna caress your face.
yeah.
It's never gonna be that way, but
But I do
yeah.
think that the interesting part of this and, like, kind of the way that, Carol and Notes on a Scandal do tell a story of a very similar woman is that,
Yeah.
like, she, in Notes on a Scandal, is warned that, like, this isn't going to go well for you
Mhm.
because do you seriously think that this young guy is going to want to be with you? Like,
Right, he's gonna be your, shining princess.
yeah, like he's a teenager. And then he ends up being like, look, this was fun, but like it's getting too complicated. Like I didn't sign
I
up
like,
for this.
"Bye."
Like you're older
Right.
than guy. Yeah. And even in Carol, it's like done in a different way, but the same type of situation where Rooney Mara's character is kind of like, okay, well, you kind of dumped me to the curb. Like I'm
Yeah.
keep reaching out. And the Carol character, Cate Blanchett's character, is this like tortured woman
Mhm.
who really, in the end, she gets, what she wants, but it
Right.
doesn't happen for much of the film.
Mhm.
So it's just I thought it was interesting because with Notes on a Scandal, most of the time when you see movies where there's a teacher-student relationship, it's the teacher that's like, "We have to end this," like,
Yeah.
"This is wrong," and then the student is so disturbed by it and, like, broken up by it and affected,
Mhm.
but here it was the complete opposite
I know. Yeah, he did not care about her.
at all.
Which is an interesting dynamic, and just even, like, the male relationships in that movie or in
Mhm.
this movie were so unfulfilling, and then you have this female relationship that is so complicated, and it starts to, like, push these boundaries, and it's like, even though Kate Blanchett is uncomfortable with Judi Dench, like, touching her and getting a little too close, she still
Mhm.
keeps going back to her because, she does have this thing holding over her head, but
Yeah.
also it's like, "But I need you because where am I supposed to go now that this has gotten out?"
Yeah. Yeah. It was I mean, the kind of climax of the movie when you realize that, oh my God, that's the boy's mother coming to the door. And then from there, everything completely goes off the rails. Like, I think that Kate Blanchett's character probably knew that Judi Dench's character was the one that ratted, but
Mhm.
I don't think that she wanted to like actually
Accept it.
accept
Yeah.
it. And then of course she didn't know the extent of her fascination with her until she saw all those little gold stars and then went digging.
Mhm.
So it's
And
just I loved this movie, honestly.
I know, I thought it was a fun time. I'm like, "Gosh, this is fun." And, this was another one where you'd, like, hear of it, like, Notes on a Scandal all the time, but I didn't really know fully what it was about or any of the tone that it was gonna be, and it kinda surprised me
Yeah, I had no idea.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even when we get to the very end, and then it's like Judi Dench comes and, like, sits next to this woman,
Mhm.
well, I knew her. Like,
Yeah,
it just was like she was
like
just gonna
so.
do it again. I
I
know, and I
know. The
oh,
complexities of her character were really fascinating too. I like that.
I know, that was fun where it's like just this older woman, and I kinda loved it too, portraying an older woman who just still loves to gossip,
Yeah.
loves to, like, be involved in, like, it's just,
Mhm.
and even though, again, she might be a little, mentally unwell, it was
Yeah.
just kind of fun to see, like, I don't know, her live vicariously through
Mhm.
Kate Blanchett's character.
Yeah. I really liked it. This was probably my favorite movie out of the ones that we watched.
I agree. And it was kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of fun because a lot of the movies we've been watching lately, especially these older ones, are just a lot more male centric. And
Mhm.
then to get these, well, technically four, but three movies that are female centric, and it's, and they're very complex. And even though Coyote Ugly wasn't that deep or anything, but I don't know, it's just kind of fun to like get in the mind of some of these women.
Yeah, they were all different movies. Man, I know we just talked about how Carol and No Ton of Scandal had some parallels, but like they were still. Oh, we have a visitor behind you. Hi,
Look who it is.
Winnie. But they still were different movies as a whole, even
Mhm.
though there were some parallels. But like every movie did tell a story of different women at different times in their lives, and that
Mhm.
was just fun to explore.
It was.
So well, we might have to reevaluate a little bit for next week, but I actually was thinking if we do book club next week, then it might be fine that we're down to two of the movies
Yeah, we could do that.
because we were going
Yeah,
to
we're hoping.
do.
I mean, I'll peruse to see if I can find another because we had planned to do music biopic week, but
A
we'll
couple
still
are
have
no
two of
longer
them. Yeah.
available. I was looking before we jumped on here, and a lot of them aren't available on any of the major
Streaming.
streamers for free. So, but
No,
I
I
mean,
think in the oh, sorry.
I was just
Well,
gonna say that I don't even think that we said what book we were going to read, but it might just work out okay that we have the two main movies and then the book to talk about, which is Wilder Valderrama's book, An American Story.
yes.
So,
Have you started it?
yeah, I'm about halfway through, so I'll be able to finish that for next week.
Yeah.
But I
I
started
do
a
have,
little later than I intended.
I know, same, but oh well. Yeah, we might run into that issue next week too with some of those movies that are on here are leaving.
Yeah.
And who knows where they're going to now. But there's some we might be able to add. I'm gonna
Yeah,
add
other
one.
change. And then we are still going to do our little rebrand. We just have to find time for us to fully execute that. But it is coming. And we did, we said we hope to have it done before the summertime. And I still think we could meet that
It
timeline.
has not been the summer solstice yet.
No, we have over a month for that. So um,
Yes.
it's possible. So, but if you guys have watched any of the movies that we talked about today, please pipe in and share your comments and your thoughts on the films. We
I
would
know.
love
Or if
to
you have
hear
any that you'd like us to
talk about.
watch,
Yeah.
let us know.
And then if you are able, I know we never brought it up before because we kind of forgot about it, but with the book club, Wilmer Valderrama's book, that was very challenging for us to get. It took a really long time. We've been on the wait list for that for ages.
Apparently people apparently people were dying to listen to the one.
Listen, yeah, I don't. So far in my read, I don't know why. There isn't really a lot of juicy gossip coming out here.
Yeah, I guess just a quick touch on it. It definitely felt like a PR book.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad book, but we can talk more about that later. But definitely because he does have a little stink on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he went the I think he did a really good direction with this book.
to help with the stink.
Yes, to get
Yes,
rid of some of the stink.
I would
But yeah, I
agree.
guess we'll get into that more
Next
next.
week. Yeah. But yeah, so if you happen to have that book lying around at your house and you want to crack it open and read it before next week, and then you can
Yes.
comment along with us, that would be great. But other than that, do you have anything else to add?
No.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Please make sure to give us a nice review or just a 5-star rating. That takes literally like 2 seconds to do, and it would be so wonderful for us. We'd be so thankful. Tell your friends, and we appreciate you listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.